In this video, we'll be doing a brief elevator pitch on 2022 NFL Draft prospect Pierre Strong Jr. Now, who is Pierre Strong? He's a running back from South Dakota State. He measured in at 5'11", 207 pounds with 31 7/8 inch arms. He's ranked 10th currently among all running backs for me on my most recent big board. And he ranks 127th overall in the class of 2022. Now, according to ESPN, Strong amassed 1,673 rushing yards and 18 touchdowns on 240 attempts this past season, meaning he averaged over 7 yards per carry in 2021. Strong also ran for over 1,000 yards in 2018 and 2019. I believe they had a shortened season for COVID in 2020, which explains why he was not as productive. But he averaged over 7 yards per carry in both 2018 and 2019 as well. So essentially, in 3 full seasons he played in college, he averaged over 7 yards per carry every time. The Arkansas native, who redshirted in 2016, projects as a late third-round pick to mid-fourth-round selection. So he is a bit of an older prospect, and we have to kind of take that into account when evaluating a running back. Although I will say a redshirt year for a running back is not as big of a deal because you're not building up – with running backs, you're not building up all the hits, all the extra contact, the stuff that kind of wears on you. It can lead to running backs sometimes breaking down immediately after their rookie contract. 4 or 5, 6 years into their career, a lot of these guys just can't handle that much physicality over that extended period of time. So if you're redshirting as a freshman for a running back, it's not as big of a deal to me because you're not taking that contact, which is so, I guess, important for the position and evaluating how long a guy can play the position. Now, certainly not everyone follows that same structure, but as a general rule of thumb, the more hits you take in college, the more likely you are to kind of fade in the NFL earlier. In your time. And Pierre Strong is not taking that many hits compared to certain other running backs in this draft class. I would not be worried about him being an older prospect or having a redshirt year in college. Now, Strong has breakaway speed, as shown by his 4.37 40 time, which ranks in the 96th percentile among running backs, according to mockdraftable.com. He has the elite vision and a good feel for rushing lanes. Despite not packing much punch and limited contact balance, Strong can sort his way through defenses on his way to breaking big plays. And essentially, it's almost like a slalom skier, essentially, when his feet kind of shift back and forth. That's essentially what he's doing. He's basically jumping in between defenders that way. And he's able to do that with enough versatility and enough speed that he can get through that area without necessarily taking a hit and getting brought down. Because he is on the smaller side at 5'11", 207, with basically just under 32-inch arms. He's not going to be a bigger back. He doesn't have a lot of power. He's not going to break many tackles. He'll get through arm tackles, but most running backs, honestly, over 205 will be able to do that. But he's not. If someone gets a solid grip on him, he's not going to be able to break away. It's unlikely to. He's unlikely to run through multiple tackles or string together consecutive juke moves. Although he can, like I said, kind of bounce around a little bit between tacklers, between defenders. You see Strong separate from the crowd with burst within his first 10 yards. So essentially within the first 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, that area between the line of scrimmage and the first down marker is where he really will break away. And then it's up to his long speed to carry him the rest of the way. And while he does have decent long speed, he's not going to erase angles the way someone like, I'll just say a DK Metcalf at wide receiver would. DK Metcalf can essentially break away and just, you might have an angle on him 30 or 40 yards downfield and he'll still manage to beat you and outrun you. I don't think Pierre Strong has the deep speed to outrun you and erase an angle 30 or 40 yards downfield. So his win in terms of breaking a long play is really going to come within that first 10 to 15 yards after the line of scrimmage. Now, Strong wasn't heavily utilized as a pass catcher at South Dakota State, but his profile tends to make me believe he can do that at the NFL level. There were some drops at times, though, which will be a bit of an issue for him. He had 4 drops this past season, so that's going to be a work in progress for him to develop into a receiving back. But again, he has a profile that I believe he'll be able to win one-on-one in space coming out of the backfield against linebackers or maybe even safeties. And that is my player profile for Pierre Strong Jr., running back from South Dakota State.